What is going on, chat? BTL episode 132 piece. Jovan, it's not a Super Tuesday, but it sure as hell is close.
Right.
How we doing?
Yeah, I'm
How we
close.
doing?
Doing great. I'm excited.
Thought it was a Super Tuesday, man, but maybe not yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
not
know
yet.
if they do this yet.
Okay. I'm no doctor. All I know is what I'm going to be betting on, and there's some plays I love. Chat, can we get some 10-4s? Can we get some W's going? Can we get some W's going for BTL Tuesday? We fucking need the good vibes because we can't buy a squad ride to save our fucking life. Can't buy one. 20-11. Daygummit. Still incredible, but we're better than this. I know we're better than this, okay? We're going to be better than this, all right? We've got a great ep today. We've got tons of college basketball games. We're not going to dive into, every ball sack versus dick butt state. But we're going to go over some of the big ones. We're going to go over some NHL, some NBA, some of these, some of those. We'll do who's hot, who's not. And then obviously finish up with the squad rides. Looks like chat is sweating out some sort of soccer bet.
Oh yeah.
This is true.
Need updates. Need updates.
What are we rooting for?
Spain, Morocco, and penalty kicks.
All right. Let me know what we're rooting for. We got a Wisconsin student saying, do not squad ride Wisco. We know what that means. Wisconsin by 100. That's what that means. Okay. We all know what happens when a fan of a team says not to bet on their team. They win by 100. That's just a tale as old as time. Okay. How about the Bucks Canucks parlay? How about it? Never in doubt.
Sweatiest 2-team plus 110-ish or whatever.
Literally. The sweatiest plus 110 bet ever placed. Literally. At one point, the Canucks were down 4-0 in the first. Dude, I literally kept checking my phone, checking the score, throwing my phone. I'd go over and get it in like 5 minutes. I'd check my phone again, and I'd see they score another goal, and I would just throw my phone again. I got to get a new phone. My shit's all dented up now. Absolutely incredible. What a game. Never in doubt. Never in doubt. Okay. And the Bucks also never in doubt. I mean, if I set that parlay live when they were down when the Canucks were down 4-0 and when the Bucks were down, like, what was it? 16-3? Is that what it was? In the fourth? Yeah, I'd literally be rich. I'd probably be taking the day off to go to the islands. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, not pulling that one today. We're working. We got to hit bets. We don't have a goddamn choice. Okay. Gotcha. We don't have a goddamn choice. What we do have is this absolutely incredible tweet that we've been blessed with that I want to share with you while you kind of get to bask in your glory here, Jovan. What a game last night, brother. Congrats. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Yeah.
Priorities, brother. Priorities.
I don't know about back because, I mean, he's back for 2 drives, but,
he's back.
Whatever wins. Yeah, whatever wins.
He's back. 3-1 since he hasn't spoken to his family. Unbelievable. Sometimes you got to just lock in. You got to put the phone on DND. You got to lock in. All right. And that's what the man's is doing. Plain and simple. Did you watch the post-game interview or no?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course I did. Of course.
Had to shout out his daughter's birthday just so the public knows that he still speaks to his family. That was nice. He's like, yeah, I got to make sure that everyone knows I still speak to my daughter. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, honey. I know you're asleep because you're like 6, but happy birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I know what you're doing, man. I know what you're up to. Unbelievable. Hey, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's on the way.
Yeah,
he's halfway
close.
there.
He's
halfway there. Unbelievable, man. Hilarious, honestly. Not really hilarious, but kind of hilarious. I don't know. All right. Well, huge win. What is your playoff? How are you feeling about playoffs? You feeling okay still? I mean, the worst division ever.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought like the division was in doubt like throughout this year because I mean the Saints and Falcons are like decent enough to kind of hang around. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have the guns, like plain and simple. Especially like the Saints, they got to be doing this on purpose at this point because I mean, there's no reason why Jameis Winston should not be playing. There's really no reason why. Or he shouldn't be playing. There's no reason why Kamara shouldn't be getting more touches than he already is.
Doesn't make any sense. Where was he last night?
Involved. Yeah, he's involved like way too much. I don't know. They're doing this.
I'll tell you what they're doing. They're
tanking. It's no secret.
Oh yeah. And they're doing a hell of a job doing it.
Oh yeah.
Right. Everyone's pointing at the Texans. They're like, "Oh, you're tanking." While the fucking Saints just low key do it with Andy Dalton, and just not playing their good players. I think the only person that didn't understand that was what is his name? Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan's not tanking.
Yeah,
That dude had like 7 impact plays last night.
He always does.
Absolutely incredible.
Literally, it's always Cam Jordan against the Bucks. Literally, if I could bet that guy I don't even know what the stats would be. If I could just bet him to just be a menace, whatever the odds that would be, I'd be minus 1,000 against the Bucks.
Oh man, unbelievable, dude. Well, you got to win. A win is a win. But that was yesterday, Jovan. That was yesterday. Today's today. Time to move on. Put that shit in the past. Let's hop into who's hot and who's not and power through these real quick. All right. Yep. I'll get it started off. Let's start out in college football. You guys know the drill. Who's hot right now? I'm going to go with Brennan Armstrong. Underrated transfer portal QB from UVA. You guys have heard me talk about this kid. I had high expectations for the lefty gunslinger this season for UVA. The team sucked, and then they had some bullshit at the end of the season that was absolutely insane. So they ended the season. He's out of there. I'm hearing rumors from my sources he might be going over to Cincinnati with the Louisville coach, taking him over from the ACC. I think that would be a good place for him. That's a solid team. That'd be an upgrade, and I think he needs to change the scenery. I've seen that guy play great, and I think he's just not set up to succeed at UVA, to be completely honest with you. Needs to change. He's getting a change. Watch out for Brennan Armstrong. If you haven't seen this kid play, if you don't know who he is, if the only way you know who he is because he threw back-to-back pick sixes this season to start out a game, it's only up from there. Okay, Brennan Armstrong, you'll see this guy on highlight tapes. You'll see this guy on a ranked football team at some point next season. All right, there's a hot take for you. He'll be starting quarterback of a team that at one point, not the whole season, at one point is ranked. Okay, so that's what I got. Who's hot in college football? The lefty gunslinger, Brennan Armstrong. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, give me Clemson. So I think we saw, I feel like everybody has known at this point that Cade Klubnik should have been starting this entire year because DJ is just so bad. I don't know what Dabo's thing was with him because Klubnik came in a couple of drives, garbage time or not, just completely different look at that team, completely different look at that offense, and we saw that a little touch of it, granted against a very bad North Carolina team, I would say, and especially their defense, but I think that it's really good for them, and he's going to start, I would think, coming into the Orange Bowl against Tennessee, and I think they absolutely roll in that game. I think they get a really good look of what they're going to see coming up in the future from Klubnik and the rest of this offense, and it's going to be kind of that same Clemson team coming up next year that we're used to seeing, and I'm really excited to see how he comes out against Tennessee, which, granted, another defense that's absolutely Swiss cheese, but it's a chance for them to really get rolling. And they couldn't score against really any defense until he came in. So I'm excited to see it.
Okay. Are you guys gassed up in chat right now? Are good things happening?
Yeah, it looks like
thinking good things are happening.
This is a big upset.
Is Morocco winning right now?
I believe they're in pens, and I assume they're up in pens.
Let's go. Finish the job. Finish the job.
2-0 in pens.
2-0, sure. Okay. King Dre, I don't think this is true. Is this true? I've been seeing he's staying. He's been saying he's a Carolina kid, and it's been his whole lifelong dream that he fucking stays and plays quarterback at UNC. He's not transferring for shit, bro.
Yeah, I think I saw that he's going in the portal. I just don't know that he's going to end up going there. I don't know that he's going to end up going where in the end.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just don't see that.
Okay. Well, he'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the country if you put him on, an SEC team, to be honest with you. So I'm sure that's what's going through his head, right?
And bring him to a little Sonny Dykes offense. Why don't we?
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. Spain missed again. Sure. Let's go. We got some sub bangs in chat too. What a start to the day. Come on. Let's get some W's going. You guys want some winners? Let's get some W's going. All right. Clemson's a good pick. I will say got to respect Dabo's loyalty, although I think he's a bonehead and a bozo, and he obviously should have put the 5-star in to start the fucking season off. I think his loyalty to DJ is respected. I think players see that. Big-time quarterbacks are going to see that.
Yeah.
And that's going to make them want to go to Clemson more because you have a long leash, right? In a time where short leashes are continuing to grow on trees, short leashes are becoming a thing, a standard, right? That it was different, and that could be the only plus of him riding DJ that long. Pause. That might be the only benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's
I
about
get
it.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But it's pretty clear that was a bad coaching decision, and then he fucked up. He fucked up before the season. I think they'll be okay next year. I think Clemson will be A-okay. All right. All right. Who's not in college football? I'm going to go with college football bowl game bettors. Okay. You thought betting on bowl games was already hard enough as it is. Now you got to fucking see who's moving, who's staying, who's playing. It's an absolute shit show. Nobody, I mean, it's going to happen every year. There's going to be a record amount of people in the transfer portal. That's just how it's going to go because it's brand new. There's going to be a record number this season. I mean, I don't even know what to recommend to you guys. I'd say probably just wait on everything. Don't try to get CLV. Don't try to be a superhero. Probably just wait on bowl bets. Unless you already grabbed TCU plus 9.5, then you're in business, right? But
Yep.
for the teams, that aren't playing for a college football playoff, I'd probably wait. The only bowl bet I have locked in is the under in Iowa, and that's because I got a good line, and I was probably going to take that anyways because it was literally at 32, and now it's at 31.5. So had to take that under. Disgusting. But yes, just know that even if it's a good team, even if it's a ranked team, like OK State, that was ranked at one point, they're going to be going to a bowl, right?
Yeah.
Spencer Sanders transferred. They don't have a quarterback. So completely different. You need to do your research is what I'm trying to say. Do your research. All right. L for bowl game bettors. L for people who like to get CLV and get their bets in early. And that's why college football bowl game bettors are who's not for college football for me. What do you got?
Yeah, so I mean, kind of talking about the whole transfer situation, I think a big loser right now is Bama, and I guess for multiple reasons. Because shout out them thinking they're getting the playoffs. How's the piss? But it's they've lost a lot of transfers in the past couple of days, which is kind of typical because not everybody's going to play at Bama. But at the same time, like one of their biggest strengths has always been their depth, and they're losing a little more of that this early than I think we're used to seeing. We talk about Tommy Brockermeyer, I think, is in. JoJo Earl is in. Trayshawn Holden is in, which I'm sure some of these guys are probably, Dion guys in the end. But it's interesting to see. And I don't want to play the whole they're not going to be able to field a team thing against K-State because it's Alabama. They still have plenty of depth as is, but, I mean, K-State's going to win that game. It's just going to be a completely different look of Bama than I think we're used to seeing like these next year or two. It's going to be a less deep team. Simple as that. They just don't have the same amount of guns. They're still going to have the same talent on the field, but as far as the guys behind them that they're used to, they're just having to be able to say next man up, and we got another 5-star, another 4-star. We got 3 4-star corners waiting in the wings. It's not going to be the same. There's a little more parity coming, and Saban's losing guys. I assume some of the announcement also has to do with him keeping all the coordinators around. I've been seeing that floating around, which staff doesn't like as a whole, players don't like. So it's a little different look from Bama. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I kind of thought they would get rid of O'Brien.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you did too with that comment. Interesting.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Nate, shout out, bro. Appreciate it. Let's keep hitting bets. All right, Nate. How about the Vikings, by the way? Side note, how about the Vikings now at -2.5 on every book?
Yeah.
Or sorry, the Lions at -2.5 on every book. What?
Yeah. It's fat.
What?
It's fat.
What? Okay, so this morning I woke up and one of the slower books around me was still hanging -1 when all the others were hanging -1.5. So obviously locked that in this morning for a pretty hefty size bet. If you follow me on Pickett, you saw that. There you go. Haven't released it anywhere else. Follow me on Pickett. Grow up. But what the hell happens over the last 4 hours to move this line from -1 to -2.5? I don't know. Can you think of anything? Have there any injuries that have come out, or is it just the Sharps absolutely shit nuking the Lions?
I don't know. It seems like there has to be something that drove that, because on a Tuesday morning, sure, it can be due to money and Sharps hammering it or whatever, but 1 to 2.5 seems like it's been induced. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see. Not that it's really affecting anything, because I'm sure as hell not betting the Vikings. But I want to wait to see what the
You're
calls
coming
are.
on around to the Lions, is what you're saying, though.
I was never betting the Vikings. I was
I
probably
know,
going
but
to
you were
stay
saying,
away from the
"Ooh, could be
Lions.
fake sharp." Ooh,
Like
that's
I don't
exactly
think the
what you
line. I don't think the line is that strange. Like I think there's been
said. I think
strange.
football brain wise, the line doesn't. Yeah, the line makes a little bit of sense. I agree. I think Detroit's been on fire recently, and at home they've been scoring hella points, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
get it. And the Vikings have been disrespected all season with the lines, right? Like I totally get it. I'm with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Thoughts?
100%.
Thoughts? Jovan, there's no way we can't bet the lines this weekend. Like we have to. We have to play.
If it's up this high for no reason, the 1 to 2.5, it's
Yeah.
got me.
Yeah. And I know our guy King Dre in chat's like saying it's the +2.5 line that you like. Yes, but 9 times out of 10, I like +2.5. This is the 1 out of 10 when the +2.5 is, the team with the best record in football, who's the luckiest, healthiest, historically the healthiest team ever in the NFL, and the covering machine that just cannot lose and just defeats all odds. So this is the 1 out of 10. Is what I'm trying to say, King Dre. This is the 1 out of 10 chance. All right. Have to play the Lions, even if it's just for a unit, even if you're not sneaking it. I feel like it just has to be on the card. It's disgusting. If you place bets like the Lions this week, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. All right. Awesome. Did you do your who's not? What was your who's not for college football?
Did I have a who's not for college football? Oh yeah, Bama. Yeah.
Bama. Yes. Good. Okay. NFL. We're going to power through these because we got to get to plenty of games, guys. Don't worry. Jeff, we'll do CBBs. Don't worry, brother. NFL, who's hot right now? Taysom Hill. Saw this stat last night. I thought it deserved to be shouted out. Also, first of all, shout out Taysom Hill for that prop. Jovan, also shout out for finding that prop. Yeah, sharp as shit. Over a half pass. Was it over a half passing yard? Was that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, good fucking hit. Okay. Absolutely love that play. Just like the CeeDee Lamb over half a rushing yard the other day. That's smack too. So good fucking eye with that. But yeah, Taysom Hill, I know he didn't, have 7 touchdowns yesterday, but he sure as hell had 1. I just think he's a cool ass player and just underrated and under talked about. The guy's a running back, tight end, quarterback. Those don't happen. I'm not saying he's Shohei Ohtani, but I'm saying he's like half Shohei Ohtani. I think it's pretty fucking cool. And the guy is the only player since 1964. So, the only player that we, matters to us just in general that has 9 career pass, rush, and receiving touchdowns. That's pretty cool. I thought the dude's like a Swiss Army knife, and I think they should use him more. I don't really know why they don't, and I don't know why he doesn't get talked about more. Weird. Maybe if the Saints weren't, piss, he would be. But I think he's cool, man. I like him, and I think he's been balling. I think he's underrated.
Yeah, they have been using him more too. I've noticed that the last couple of weeks, but especially last night. Well, to run in, they've been using him as a tight end more, which last night I guess was kind of more a product, I guess, of Juwan Johnson being out and Troutman can only really block. So I don't know if they want to use him like that. That's great. But Juwan Johnson is very good. But I love seeing him not as a Bucs fan and better, but I love seeing him get used like that. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. The Tim Tebow that should have been. Yep.
Yeah.
He's like that good Tim Tebow. Although still got to respect Tim Tebow for that throw.
Oh, yeah.
Still got to respect it.
All
right, what do you got? What do you got?
Very unfortunately, I have the Cowboys, which I'm not going to sit here and praise them for demolishing the Colts like they should be. But, over the course of like the past couple of weeks, Won the game against the Giants where they looked better. I think that game was a little closer in the end than it really should have been. Demolished the Vikings, demolished the Bears, dropped one of the Packers in between. But I mean, they look like such a complete team. And I hate to say it because I hate the Cowboys, but I think they're the best team in the NFC pretty clearly. And they have a schedule coming up. I mean, Texans and Jaguars next 2 weeks. Those are games I think they win pretty easily. And then they come in, do a couple, Eagles, Titans, Commanders, which is not an easy road, but they're very winnable games. And I think in that they have a very strong chance to make a serious statement against the Eagles. It's like it's going to be an end to the season for them that I think is going to solidify that for a lot of people. They're the best team in the NFC and probably the favorite to make it out of that. So they just really, really, really scare me. And yes, I hope they do not play the Cowboys first round of the playoffs because I don't want to see the Cowboys. I'm hoping the Cowboys win that division in the end, which I think is very, very possible, to be honest with you. So I could very well see them running the table the rest of the season.
All right. Well, we will see. I hope that's not true because I fucking hate their guts. But god damn, their defense is absolutely locked in. So good. Micah Parsons might be the best player in the NFL.
So good.
He might be.
I mean, now they've started to unlock Tony Pollard. I mean, it's just such a different.
It's crazy what happens when you give your better players the ball and don't just give guys that you're paying or guys that are famous or were good a couple years ago the ball, right? It's insane at what happens if you just give your best actual player the rock. Your team's better. Wow, that's wild. Who would have thought? Yeah. All right. Sweet. Who's not in the NFL for me? Oh, this one sucks. Chase Young. I don't know if Chase Young's going to play this season. It's sad. So here's what I've got. You guys know I might as well be in the fucking media room for these meetings. Ron dances around every single Chase Young question by just saying this is what his response is every single time. D-line's playing really well. We don't even need Chase to be, the guy when he comes back. That's literally what he says every single time. He has it memorized. It's written all over his walls. It must be because it's the only fucking thing he can say whenever someone asks him, is Chase Young healthy? Is Chase Young playing? He just dances around it and says that. It's ridiculous, right? And I get it. And he's not wrong when he says that. That is true. But my God, something's up. The last 2 weeks since he's been activated, he's been inactive for game day because of knee/sick. So this guy just has been sick for 2 weeks. An absolute alpha male, Chase Young, who his body's in tip-top shape and he's probably not hitting the clubs when he's coming back from an injury or going outside really that much. Like, what are the odds this dude's getting sick 2 weekends in a row? I call cap. That's fucking bullshit. He has not been fucking sick. That's an absolute lie just to get him inactive so they don't get fucking penalized, which I'm cool with doing that. But what the fuck, man? It's scary. Like, is this guy we drafted instead of, Justin Herbert? Is he ever going to be able to actually play football again? That's the thoughts that are going through my head now. It's not good. I'm scared. And God forbid he doesn't come back against the Giants after the bye. I'm going to lose it. Because if he doesn't come back for that game after a bye week, that's in 2 weeks. I mean, we've got 3 games left of the season. After that, you might as well just pack it up and get ready for next year. I mean, is he ever going to play again?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Who was the linebacker on the Cowboys a couple years ago from Notre Dame who had that terrible leg injury that took him 2 years to come back? Jalen Smith. Took him 2 years to come back. Took him 2 years of playing on the field shittily to just get back into, good football shape where he was finally playing well. And then everyone started talking about how good he played. And then he fucking got hurt again. Like, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. So I don't know if he's ever going to play again. I don't know if he's going to play this season. The Redskins are lying through their fucking teeth. Prayers up for Chase Young's leg, man. And let's hope he gets back for Sunday Night Football because we fucking need him. We need him. I can't even imagine our D-line and how fucking good they'll be with him returning because our D-line's never played this well. And we're missing our best player.
Oh, yeah.
So let's fucking see. All right, what do you got?
We go to Chargers.
Okay.
They're kind of, and I know they've been kind of ravaged by injuries, throughout the year, but they're kind of my UNC team that like they're getting crowned a little bit at the start of the year, and I really didn't know why. I don't think this team is as good, healthy or not. I just think they're overall just way too inconsistent. I don't want to say I'm not a Herbert fan, but I think he is very immune to blame, I guess, when you look at this, because nobody's willing to accept some of the inconsistencies he has, and he's tries to do a lot too much, tries to get out of his element, which again, injuries, you got to do whatever you got to do for that team, but it's just not enough. This team is just not enough, not what everybody thought they were going to be. Yeah, and it's partially on Staley
They've
too.
had some of the worst coaches I've ever seen in the last couple of years, man.
It's everybody in the organization. They're just not a good organization, not a good team. They're just never going to go.
Have a lot of fans. I feel like they're just one of those. I don't even know how to describe. They're like the OKC Thunder, like just one of those irrelevant, teams that nobody even gives a shit about.
Yeah, and
nobody cares about.
Yeah, they have the talent. I mean, Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, healthy or not, those are great guys to have on your team on paper, and they have the defensive pieces that they went out and spent and everything. Like they revamped every part of their team, and they're still not good. And again, blame injuries if you want, but healthy or not, this team has shown you that they can't do much. So it's like if you want your Raiders to get the cash, that's probably the team that's going to do it. To be honest with you, I'm so out on this team.
Huge part of why I took the Raiders to make the playoffs the other day.
Yeah,
because I do not believe in this Chargers team, and they're frauds. I mean, injuries, yeah, but like this team has been good on paper for the last 4 years, dude. And nothing ever happens. So frauds. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody's always talked about how they have all the talent on paper. They're eventually going to turn the corner. Herbert's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL. Eckler is going to have an MVP season. Keenan Allen's going to actually play more than 2 games. When it's just not happening. Like it's never going to happen. They're just going to be this team that's fringe playoffs every year, and I'm very tired of acting like this team is going to contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm so out on the Chargers, man. I'm so out on the hype, and I'm right there with you, dude. That's a good pick. They're poverty. Sorry. And it starts with coaching. We've talked about how important coaching is.
Absolutely.
Maybe they get Sean Payton next year. Yeah, Sealord, you're right, dude. Maybe they get Sean Payton next year.
I would love for them to be good, and that would be a big step to that. It's
good for football to have them actually be good. I mean, they do provide us very good primetime games with the Chiefs. Thank you.
Yeah, they're an entertaining team. There's no question about that.
Would love to see them step it up a notch and actually make moves, right?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right there with you, bro. Right there with you. All right, college basketball. Who's hot, who's not? Let's make these quick because we got games to get to.
Yeah.
Who's hot? Zach Edey might be the best college basketball player in the country. And I hate this guy. I hate watching him play. I don't know why subconsciously in the back of my head, I'm like, it's not even fair. Like that this kid can just play in college because he's 7'4" and he looks like he's 40 and he looks like a giant and he's not even a human being. He's 7'4". He just dropped 31 points and 22 rebounds on Sunday against Minnesota. You know how many rebounds Minnesota had?
How many?
21. He out-rebounded the other team. He's a cheat code. He's awesome. And from all the smart college basketball brains, we've heard all the talk this season how it's the year of the big, right? This guy's leading the fucking way. And maybe Purdue actually won't be frauds for once, and they'll be good this year because Zach Edey looks better than ever. He hits his free throws. He looks poised. It's early in the season, right? So let's get some more primetime games under his belt. But at times in previous years, in primetime games, when Zach Edey gets swarmed by some other big athletic, defenders, the dude absolutely crumbles and he becomes a turnover machine, or he just absolutely starts bricking. This year, he's composed. He plays slow, and that's his advantage, is that he wants to play slow. He's a slow-mo guy. And that's not going to translate great in the NBA, but it sure as hell will work in college basketball because he's just bigger and stronger. Yeah. So he's going to lead the way. I think Purdue might fucking do the damn thing with a guy like him in the paint.
Nobody's talking about him.
Extremely impressed.
Nobody's talking about him. Yeah,
because he's boring and he's been around.
No, not even just Purdue. I mean, Purdue's been, out of those teams that have, really climbed and sat up there at the top, nobody's really talking about.
UConn's taking all the fame and getting all the clout, but Purdue, goodness, man, they're better than I thought too.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 23 and 13. and Purdue is 8-0. So shout out Zach Edey, best player in the country right now. Bonus pick, Uncle Phil bonus pick. Let me get Kason Wallace, best freshman of the year right now. Wanted to shout him out. He's been balling for Kentucky and not getting enough credit. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's a dog. That was an Uncle Phil bonus pick. All right.
I love it.
What do you got?
Yeah. So, I mean, I 100% agree with Purdue. But I do, in the same realm, they're kind of the team that doesn't get credit. I think the team that does get credit is getting rightfully so, and that would be UConn, because this team it's so weirdly different than some of years past. Not just because they're good, but like obviously they're always going to have the big man play. Like they've had Sonogo a couple years now. He's doing his thing in the paint. Usually they're kind of predicated on guard play as far as their offense, and now it's kind of switched a little bit. I mean, Sonogo, I would say, is doing a little bit more offensively than ever. Andre Jackson can get to the cup and get a bucket if he wants. I mean, Hawkins has been, every time I watch UConn, Hawkins is just unbelievable. The dude can't miss a shot. It's just like they're so different. They're a lot more versatile on defense. The wings are playing out of their minds defensively, whether it's Jackson, whether it's Hawkins, whether it's even like Caravan's playing decent defense at times. It's just, they have so many different pieces. They're so deep. They're just such a solid team. And like, especially going into that conference where I think that style of play really suits winning basketball games, especially against some of those teams like I don't even know. I mean, the Big East is pretty weak, but like a Creighton, like a team like that. I mean, shout out. I guess I'll talk about it in a second, but a team like Creighton, a team like some of the lower tiers like Providence, Butler, all of that's going to translate really, really well. They're going to have a hell of a year. I'm excited for them.
Okay. Our guy Ray in chat. Ray, did you just make a second account because nobody answered you the first time 10 minutes ago when you were asking? Because I saw an account that originally just said Ray asking the same thing. Did you do that? Did I just catch you in that, Ray? Trent comes on at 2 Eastern time, my man. You're a little early. All right, but stick around for some winners if you want them. We got you. All right, brother. Next thing you know, we're going to see Ray's third account coming in. What time is Trent coming on? All right. Like that one, UConn. And I'll tell you what, they've got an ex-Hokie on their team in Naheem Aline. So they're championship bound. Any championship team always involved an ex-Hokie or an ex-Washington something. So they got that checkbox. They're good to go. All right. Yeah, he's a bucket. All right. Who's not? I'll keep this quick. St. Peter's, we knew it was probably a one-time thing, at least being that good and making that run, right? But, I mean, usually teams who make a run like that are at least, okay the next year. Well, head coach left, whole team left. They're 4-4 this season. They're coming off losses to Fairfield, Jesus Christ, and Mount St. Mary's, who we might talk about a little bit later. Don't sleep on the Mount. But those are crummy teams that this St. Peter's team should beat, right? If they want to keep that same trajectory and continuing to grow the program. And, their only real important big game of the season this year was against Seton Hall and their old coach, and they got stomped 44-80. So they're losing to bad teams. They're losing by a lot in important games. They lost literally every player, so I'm not really shitting on the team themselves, more just the program that's dead. That's why they're the who's not for college basketball for me. Dougie Buckets is doing his thing at Bryant. You guys have been hearing it. Casey and Defo is obviously playing pretty good minutes at Seton Hall with his coach. He went with them. And then a bunch of their guys, the Drame brothers, Daryl Banks, everyone's gone. So not really the players' fault or the team's fault, but the school's fault for not continuing that same trajectory. I'm out on St. Peter's. They're dead. Sorry, Pete Cox.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I'm with you.
Yeah,
my little who's not group is just all of the teams that just think they can outscore people consistently because they're all starting to fall, a.k.a. Creighton, Arizona, UNC, and the Zags, who have all either fallen and looked bad in quite a few other games. Because it's going to be a problem for them. Like obviously we've talked about UNC enough. Probably talked about the Zags enough too, which I think they'll get it together, but it's going to be a serious problem for them against actual competition with the way that their perimeter defense is. And then just like Arizona and Creighton, Creighton didn't even have to go on the road, and they're not even conference play yet. That was an embarrassing loss at home, putting up 53 and losing by double digits to Nebraska, a Nebraska team that has been struggling, has zero identity, whatever you want to call it. That's a problem. That really scares me. I've been out on this Creighton team. That certainly scares me going into Big East play, even with the Big East being, kind of weaker as it is. Like they're going to go they're going to get shut down by that UConn team if they're getting shut down by Nebraska, to be real with you.
UConn's middle name is defense.
Yeah,
And somebody in chat's asking, is Creighton do you think Creighton can play defense and turn it around? I mean,
they can.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't think that team has a lick of defense in them.
I think they can play a little better than they have been playing, but a lot of that is going to have to kind of rely on the teams that they play, because like a lot of the teams are kind of feed into that. Like when we talk about like some of the lower tier Big East teams, like I don't know, Seton Hall, DePaul, Xavier, teams that play like a tad slower than like the Arizonas and San Diego States they've been facing. But it's just that I don't think they have the guys like at the end of the day. So it's just different, and it hurts them to play slower, to play better defense or focus on that or whatever, because it's not how they're going to score the basketball either. So
yeah,
it's the team that they have, and it is what it is. And it's kind of the same thing with Arizona. Like Arizona, I have a little more faith in than Creighton, just because I think they're much better offensively. They're much more polished offensively. But when you talk about a team going to shoot and they play defense as bad as they have, once they get into Pac-12 play, they're going to struggle, especially because those games are just weird. Like, I'll call it what it is. Like going on the road against Utah, weird game. We're going to see a lot of that. Go on the road against Wazoo. Go on the road against Oregon. Oregon always wins a couple of games they just have no business winning. So like it's going to be a weird conference season for those teams. So I'm very out on them. I think they can start to get it together a little bit, maybe if we're talking like Arizona and maybe Creighton, but those other two teams, I don't know.
All right. Well, it's not the second half of the season yet, so let's give UNC a break, I guess. They'll probably prove us all wrong and turn on the Jets then. But maybe it was just maybe they were just frauds. Maybe it was just got hot at the right time.
It's not even a thing with UNC. It's just like this is the team they are. It's the team they were at the whole regular season. So they're just that. They're just not the tournament team like that we saw. Two different teams.
George, is Yale as good as their 8-1 records for an Ivy League team? Yeah, I've been impressed with Yale, but compared to the rest of real basketball teams that have actual offenses and score and don't just run zones and pray to put up 60 points first team to 60 wins. No, that's an interesting game we'll talk about. Okay, all right, dope. We got some good ones here. We'll post these as well. I really like that college basketball one you had, who's not, with some of the big names who might be a little fraudulent because they don't play like a D. I will say with Creighton, I think Kalkbrenner has taken more of an offensive. He's made offense more of a priority for him, I think, this season.
Yeah,
and that's really affected him, and that's affected the team a little bit because he's a 7'1" rim protector who is used to sticking his ass in the paint and being an absolute issue and not letting anybody drive. Now he's trying to score, and that's really hurt their defense. So they got to pick. Like LeBron, the one smart thing LeBron said, I think, in the last couple of years is, he can't play LeBron James offense and defense. You got to kind of pick. You got to kind of pick where you're exerting your energy. These guys aren't superheroes, right? So if Kalkbrenner's, spending out, and he's a big-ass dude who's probably not, conditioned like LeBron James, he has to kind of pick and choose. So
yeah,
he's picked offense, and that's been good for him, for his stock, but not for the team. Not for the team. All right. We got about 45 minutes. You want to quickly go over NBA and NHL if you have anything, and then we'll kind of dive into some of these bigger college basketball games and answer questions.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I can't say I've taken too deep a look at the NBA, but the NHL has a lot of interesting games today, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, just looking at kind of the +1.5, I don't want to say system because that's super corny, but I've been looking at the price range. I feel like everybody knows that. There's two teams that have kind of been outpriced by it at this point, but I'm still keeping my eye on because there hasn't been a team that's been getting like past that 240 mark and getting above it, 250, 260, and come back down until last night. And I wasn't able to get on it because I realized it too late. I was leaning Habs against the Canucks initially, then they got outpriced, and then they slowly came back until they closed right at 240. And I didn't get to get on it, and they covered. So
on FanDuel by me, they closed at 225.
Really? I didn't even see that. I
was shitting my pants.
That's a lot. Yeah. So like there's two right now. With the Lightning, I see they're sitting 245, I believe. and the Kraken, which I've gotten pretty far above it. They're steamed up to 270, but those are the two that I'm going to keep my eye on. To be honest with you, I think the Red Wings is a pretty solid play regardless of the price range. I really, really like the Red Wings play today. I think they honestly might win this game outright. Just it feels like that kind of a spot for Lightning. It's kind of a plumps thing, but it's also just watching this team. They do often play back and forth with the Red Wings, and the Red Wings have been struggling quite a bit. I would say they've won some games, but if you watch some of these games, their defense has been absolutely porous. So, I mean, I think that's going to come to a head. I am a little scared, though, I will say, just looking at the prize picks board, because I remember we were all in the Lightning. I don't remember who they were playing, but this past weekend, or not this past weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. And remember when they had all the guys up for assists?
Yeah.
They don't have 4, but they have 3 today, which is a little scary, to be honest with you. Okay. They also have Nick Paul up for a point. Whenever he does that, dude comes out with a hat trick.
Fuck.
So I'm a little scared, but I do think it's still a solid play. So those are the ones that I'm keeping my eye on for the plus 1.5. And there's a total that I actually really, really like that I heard DJ talking about it too, which is good. It's the over in this Blue Jackets Penguins game, which is now it's at 7 at FanDuel, which is
wow.
I think it's a little high because we look at, I mean, the Blue Jackets, I guess, are traditionally an over team, but you look at some of their past games, they haven't been producing too many overs, especially on their own. I mean, they haven't been scoring goals a lot. And this Penguins team, especially today, there's a lot of Thank you,
John, for addressing that.
That's a fact. Yeah. There's a lot of I think there's a flu going through the Penguins locker room. So they have a couple guys. Yeah, there's a couple guys they very well could be missing today. So if this totals up to 7, yeah, it's Malkin. It's not any little guys. Malkin, Crosby, I saw on that list. So if they're not playing and this total is at 7, that makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, if their whole defense is sick, would be the only thing.
Well, I mean, Malkin and Crosby are the only offensive options too. So I mean, it would cancel out, I would think. Like this doesn't make much sense to me, especially because obviously you can pull back if these guys are ruled out, but this is a large number for the Penguins, and they're owners of the Blue Jackets, but this is a huge rivalry game, big emotional game. They always play close, I would say, the majority of the time I see it. So I think this is going to be a back and forth game. So this is a one that I really like too. We also have a 5.5 total in Blues Islanders, which is really interesting. Because Blues overs have been a wagon, which is the only kind of caveat I would have to this. But when you look at this, first of all, they had a game, I think a month ago, which was 3-2. Islanders won that game. This Islanders price feels a little short, especially with the Blues, I believe, coming off of a back-to-back. Or not back-to-back. They played Monday. Or no, today's Tuesday. We're good. Back-to-back. But here's the little – I think this is like one of those fake sharp goals allowed squared squares. So we caught a couple of them yesterday with, I think, Igor and forget who the other one was. But this is a one where we see Sorokin at 2 goals allowed after coming off of that game where he only gave up 2 goals in that game against the Blues previously. It's also this is a 5.5 total game, and him at 2 goals allowed is sitting at plus 1,200, plus 1,240 for a shutout, which seems really, really high. It's this is I guess a Blues overs trend that I'm willing to lean into. I think he gets absolutely shelled tonight. That's what I'm leaning there. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting games today for sure. I want to see how these lines move, but those are my initial thoughts.
Okay. There are a lot of games today. Looks like you got some serious reads on some of these. You like anything? You like the Senators today? You like the Sens, ML?
I'm a little cautious. DeGen brought that one up. He likes that one. It seems a little weird to me, but at the same time, this is 2 teams I would say are trending in the opposite directions. Ottawa's been playing a little better. The Kings have definitely not, and they're also, again, previous matchup on the road. Ottawa went and beat them 3-2, I think. I saw somebody in chat 3-2, and I don't know. The price is getting up there to 120, maybe a little higher, which is definitely keeping me away from the Kings, but it does feel like a little awkward of a price.
Good. As they should. As they should. They didn't know he wasn't fucking starting, guys. They didn't try to get you. They don't fucking know that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
So good they got people back. That's good.
yeah, it'll be good. I'll tell you one game that I want absolutely no part in, except for I'm taking Austin Matthew for a point. I want nothing to do with the Leafs Dallas game. Absolutely nothing. Keep me away from that with a 25,000 foot pole.
Okay.
That is going to be a fantastic game to watch. I want absolutely nothing to do with it. I will I was really hoping that we would get one of the guys up for a point that's had a point in like 15 or 17 straight games. But no, I can't even fade that. There's nothing up there.
Okay.
Keep me away.
All right.
He wants to play those games.
All right. Well, you got some plays you like.
I do.
I'm looking at the NBA. I don't really love anything in the NBA. The one line that interests me a spec would be the Nuggets moving from -4.5 to -5 with 45% of bets and 75% of handle. I know they have the better record. I know they're the better team, but they're coming off of 2 losses. And Dallas is coming off of 2 big wins, including winning last night, by 20 against the Suns. And that line has moved Denver -4.5 to -5. Huh. Any thoughts on that? You think that Denver being a better team kind of cancels that out and you stay off this, or do you want to give Denver a look? I think Denver definitely wins this game. I just don't know if they're going to cover the 5, but I like the way that spread is moving. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't mind it, especially with the way the Mavs have been playing lately. I mean, they just got off of that massive win against the Suns at home, where Luka just once again owned the Suns and they blew them out of the water. And the Nuggets have not been playing good. They got blown out by the Pelicans, lost on the road against the Hawks, won a couple weak games before that. But, I mean, they're not playing great basketball, so I will say it's catching my eye a little bit. I hate Mavs games, though. I've said that multiple times. I don't have a good read on their lines.
Looks like everyone is pretty healthy except for KCP, who is questionable. But, I mean, are we going to act like that matters?
Yeah.
Sorry, KCP. People forget KCP played with an ankle monitor on when he was on the Lakers. It could only play in home games because he was on house arrest for a season. People forget that. And nobody talked about it because it didn't end up mattering in the playoffs because that was the year. Was that the first LeBron year in the Lakers when they were terrible and they didn't even make the playoffs?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hate the totals in the NBA, but might be favorite of the season. That under might be the favorite in the season. What under is he talking about?
The Mavs Nuggets. That's an interesting one. That is an interesting one. I mean, especially I know the Mavs have been putting up a lot of points lately, thanks Luka. But I could get behind that for sure.
I mean, both these teams' last couple games, their totals have been set higher than where the one is tonight. Dallas is hitting over in 4 of their last 5. I mean, last night they had over 140 points in that game, 240 points in that game. Denver's putting up, 230 points a game at least. So interesting.
That is really interesting.
Okay. I like the splits too. The splits are looking good.
Yeah.
Let me check and see what Visson has. Visson splits are even better. 21% of bets, 35% of handle, and the total is moving down. Weird. Probably get a smack.
Just might.
Jen, I like that. Good eye, brother. Did you send anything? I'm typing. I'm not looking at the chat.
You're saying that the opener of 223 is pretty low for a lot of these games.
Low in general.
Period. I agree.
Yeah. Go ahead and add that to my card.
Yeah.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Sure you can. All right. RB bets. Will you see me at the Commanders game next weekend? Yeah, you will. Let's booze. All right.
Prime time.
I want people to come booze with the boy, man, at my tailgates. All right. I'm going to get there nice and early. I'll let you guys know where I'm posting up, but I want to fucking booze with the squad. So any of my DC heads trying to go to that game, the game of the year, they're calling it. People are calling it that.
Yeah. They're just going to tie again.
Not me. I'm just hearing. I keep turning around. I keep hearing game of the year. Game of the year. Whoa. Keep hearing it. It's not me saying it. It's others. Trust me. I don't know who, but I just keep hearing it. Maybe I'm going crazy. All right, let's go to CBBs. We got 30 minutes. Perfect.
Let's do that.
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's talk about some of these big guys. All right. Yeah, RBB bets, DM me. Anybody who wants to link up, DM me. I'll make sure that I actually check my DMs for once for that game. Okay. All right. Oakland, Syracuse, early game. Does that tickle your fancy at all? Taking Oakland, or do we just take that team who's sharp every fucking game and just put them in the corner and pretend like they don't exist? That's what a smart person would do.
Yeah, just keep them off to the side. I'm good. I'm good with taking this team. I'm so good.
Even with Syracuse coming off a fucking outright win at Notre Dame, and Oakland hasn't won a game since 1942.
Yeah, I just
don't know. Even
I
with the splits, 35% of bets, 50% of handle, and the spread has moved from plus 16. I guess it actually is moving towards Syracuse. For that reason,
yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. We'll be seeing.
We will be. All right. I saw study halls on him. You don't think I saw my son's on? Give me a break. All right. What about, here's a real game. Or any thoughts on that Butler Yale game? I guess we could talk about it for a second. Is Yale as good as the 8-1 record they have? Obviously not. They've played DoorDash McGee in half their games. But I've been very impressed by this Yale team, and they might be a sleeper to win the Ivy, honestly. That line, I don't think it's that weird. Do you have thoughts on this game? I'm not betting it.
I'm not either. I don't think it's that weird. I mean, I think the Yale team is going to be a little better than I guess I see them at this point in time, and this Butler team probably a little worse. So I think it's fine. I mean, what are they, 3.5 against Kansas State, which maybe this line should be a little bigger than it is, I guess you could say, but it's kind of moving that way. So I'm good. I'm chilling off of it.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a Yale or no play for me, but I'm not taking anything. But I do lean Yale. I'm pretty sure this game is also the Bulldogs versus the Bulldogs, by the way. Somebody in chat correct me if I'm wrong on that. But what is Yale's mascot? Somebody look that up. Pretty sure it's the Bulldogs. Krabs, I am DoorDash driver and offended by your harsh continued comments towards you. Connor, hey, in this economy, if you got a DoorDash to fire off some bets, man, hey, you do what you got to do. All right?
Why not?
I'm not hating. You do what you got to do out here. But I will continue to make DoorDash jokes because I think they're funny. All right? So I'm going to keep making. Sorry. All right. Illinois, Texas. Here's a real game. We've got to take Illinois, moving from +4 to +2.5 against undefeated second-ranked team in the country, Texas. Don't be fooled. This game is not at Texas. This game is at the Garden. I really need to get up there to fucking see college basketball games or just a basketball game in general. I heard it's fucking magnificent. I've never been to the Garden. I need to go. I'll be at Barclays on Sunday, though. If anybody's going to that, let me know. But, yeah, I'm not going to talk about this game that much. This is about the line, not the team play. Give me Illinois +2.5. Shit, we probably should just take them out. What do you got?
Yeah, this game really scares me. But, I mean, I just have to go with Illinois because this is just a battle of two teams that play pretty similarly, to be honest with you. They force a lot of turnovers. They play a style of defense that really doesn't let you get inside, so they're going to have to shoot in MSG, which a lot of those tournaments there, which, you know, for people who aren't familiar with a lot of these tournaments in MSG, there's a lot of unders because a lot of teams struggle to shoot the ball. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if it's just the figure of the neutral court or whatever. It is what it is. So a lot of these teams, they rely on the three ball a lot, whether we're talking, you know, Terrence Shannon on one side or you're talking, you know, Marcus Carr and everybody else on the other side. So it's really going to be a war of attrition for who can shoot less terribly from the 3-point line because not getting stuff at the hoop. I can tell you that, either of these teams. It's going to be a battle of who can shoot the three ball and who can turn the ball over less. It's going to be ugly. I don't know if I'm confident enough to play that under, but let's just hope that Illinois can force more turnovers than them. Let's hope that a couple of these shooters for Texas have an off game.
Sure. Well, the lines tell me they will.
Yeah.
Only 30% of bets and handle. Sorry, less than 30% of bets and handle on Illinois, and that line is moved from +4 to +2. Somebody explain that. Somebody on Texas explain that to me. All right, come on. All right, how about St. Joe's and Temple rivalry game? Joe's, I've been disappointed. Don't laugh at St. Joe's. Give me a break. Don't laugh at this bet. Don't laugh at this game. Come on now. Bro, I want to take St. Joe's. I want to give them another chance. They're better than this. They got better players than they've been playing. They're coming off losing outright when they're -11.5. They lost by 20 to a terrible Fairleigh Dickinson team. That's their last fucking game. And then you look over at Temple. They've covered and won 3 games in a row. They're looking great. They're coming off a huge statement win to VCU. That's a big win for a school like Temple. That's an impressive win. Give me St. Joe's. This is a rivalry game. These teams know each other. These schools are close. They hate each other. And I just don't believe in this Temple team. I think this Temple team has a lot of really good players. And I probably would have thought this would be more like a -13.5, -14.5. The fact that we're down to +10.5, opening up at +11.5 is a good enough go for me. Give me the Hawk. The Hawk will never die. Give me St. Joe's. They're getting 51% of bets, but 71% of handle. But all the ML bets are obviously coming in on Temple. All the people making these fucking stupid parlays that ain't hitting. So give me St. Joe's. I think they could win this game outright. Skill level wise, they have some dogs on that team. I think the spread is short. I like the way it's moving. Give me the in-state rival. Give me St. Joe's. Do not. The Hawk will never die. I think that's their slogan. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to play anything here, it would be St. Joe's. Kind of like along with that, in these games that they have kept, for the most part, I would say the games they've covered and kept these games close, and the games that Temple have kind of not, or at least kept it a little closer. It's been pretty high scoring games, and this total's gone, I think, 141 to 145, which I think is a little odd. So I would be down to playing over here too, honestly.
Yeah, and when you think of these teams, you don't really think of offense either, which is interesting. So
Well, they're both weird teams because like St. Joe's has played a couple like super gross games, like with Georgia and with I see the Lafayette game. They didn't really score against Houston, but nobody really does. But they've also had super high scoring games. Like they put up 100 points or 99 points at Albany. They put up 85 against Penn. They put up 80 last week and gave up 97 in that Fairleigh Dickinson game. So it's kind of sporadic. And Temple's, a lot the same way. They have gross games. They have, high 70s type games. So I think this one is going to be a shootout back and forth, and it kind of hangs around that 10 number for a while, and maybe St. Joe's gets it late.
Okay, but you'd probably go with the over if you had to play something in this.
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anything in Arkansas? I don't like anything. If you don't, we can move on. They're playing Greensboro.
Yeah, I'm good there.
St. Louis, Iona. Anything? I don't have the lead on this.
Now, I don't know. At first glance, this line looked a little weird, but I just don't think
it's weird. I think it's Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is getting respect, and Iona's good.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at St. Louis, like I think they're a very overrated team, and I guess Vegas thinks the same thing because their lines have been incredibly short all year. So
agreed, and I haven't been able to really gas up this team because of that.
Yeah,
and I haven't really liked what I've seen. This is my dark horse. This is my sleeper pick. And I have not liked what I've seen, I'll be honest. So I've been pretty quiet about them because they're -1.5 to Iona today. That sums it up perfectly. They're probably going to lose this game. Gun to my head, I'm taking Iona at home +1.5 or just M out. Fuck it. And I probably would take the point if there was a gun to my head. But, yeah, Iona are no play here. St. Louis, unfortunately, underrated or overrated a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Stop me if I skip past a game that I skipped. I'm just going in time order, okay?
Well, I know you're going to go past this because you probably haven't seen it. Nope. I'll tell you who's the weird one. The super public dog that I've seen all day is High Point.
Wow.
High Point.
I did look at that game for a second. What are you seeing in that?
Oh, I mean, not much to be honest with you, but I've seen High Point, whether it's Twitter, whether it's in comments, whether it's anywhere. I've seen it a million times. I've seen
Yeah,
it's a great play. A great play plus 12.5. They're getting all the money. They're getting all the bets. It's actually the money's come down a little bit since I last looked, but they're getting 77% of the bets and the money split. Super public dog, and it's, I guess, the 7-1 record must be attracting a lot of people, or what? So I'm not really sure what it's doing for people. Furman's also a team who hasn't looked particularly good. I mean, they just got, they haven't covered quite a few of these games. They didn't cover against South Carolina State. They let App State cover last game. They had the one decent game against South Carolina, but other than that,
keep talking.
Yeah, you're good. They haven't done a thing. So that high point line seems very high for a team who's been really, I don't want to say they're struggling, but a team that hasn't really been covering. And for a high point team who the record looks good, it seems like it's pretty free. And I'm gonna have to disagree with that one. So I'm gonna take that one. Yeah, 12.5 is a lot. And yeah, Furman hasn't proved anything. So I guess that's the reason that I've seen it so much today, and it's weird. And yeah, he left to put a nuke on High Point, sure. Bucknell open 4, now 7. That's it's interesting. I guess LaSalle is also one of those teams that I see with short lines quite a bit, and I don't really know how to read, so I'll stay away from that one. But yeah, he has them as only a 5-point dog, so that's like a
sure.
I don't want to say he's wrong, but like there's a big discrepancy between the thoughts and the line.
Well, is that why everyone loves High Point today? Because our guy G Unit, who's a fucking beast, has them only losing by 5. That would make a lot of sense.
It would, but it's also, looking at the splits, like respectfully, everybody who's betting on the games and creating those splits are not all following G Unit. So it's a widespread thing. They might have all seen the video. They might have all seen it. But
yeah, I mean, Mike Bothwell's a bucket. He drops like 20 points a game, the senior for Furman. The Paladins, yes, Jovan, you hit the nail on the head in this game. Haven't decided if I'm playing it yet or not, but I definitely lean Furman minus 12.5. That's a lot of respect to it for a team with the worst record, laying that against trendy High Points. Look, don't get me wrong. The Paladins are one of the best mid-major teams in college basketball, in my opinion, but they have not played like it yet. And Mike Bothwell is one of the best mid-major players in basketball, and he has not gotten talked about a speck. So maybe he goes off tonight and starts getting some of the respect he deserves because he's really good.
Yeah.
So I like Furman here. Big line for a reason, right? They probably win this game by 20, and Furman starts getting back on track. I like it.
I'm with it.
I also want to take the Mount. A 4-5 Mount team that just switched conferences. They moved from minus 3.5 to minus 4 against a team with a better record, a team with a winning record. American, who, that's loud. That's okay though. American has won a bazillion games in a row. By bazillion, I mean 5, and they've covered all 5 of those games as well, including 3 outright wins to NJIT and St. Francis, who aren't impressive, but Georgetown, not impressive either, but the name is. And then they've just been taking care of business, man. They've been winning in square spots for the last, 2 weeks, including their last game against Albany when I was on shit Albany, only getting 4 points. And America beat them by 25, dude. Yeah. So I'm taking them out here. I will say I am a little biased, so I want your take on it. I know you don't, study the MAC or know that much about the Mount, which good. That means that you have a life and you're not a freak. Yeah. But I like that line movement. I like where the line opens. I know that the Mount does take basketball seriously. There will be fans there. That is their sport. It's a small school, but that place will be packed. And they do play better at home. This is a good basketball program. Plain and simple. They just moved conferences. Big game for them. Team with a losing record as a favorite against an American team that's beaten Georgetown this year and is on a 5-game winning streak, and covering is enough for me to bet on the Mount tonight. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear if you initially said it, but I was going to say, yeah, they've sneakily covered 5 in a row, which couldn't even hear myself think about it when I was looking, because we're getting a legacy
wins, dude.
Yeah, 3 outright wins. I mean, it's interesting for sure. I personally, though, if I was going to play this kind of reeks of a game to me. That's going to fall right in between.
John, I remember that too, bro. That's okay. We'll get the Mount coins back. All right.
Yeah, this one to me, which I guess I don't know. I guess it's the American thing, but I've bet on a couple American games. I just feel like they always end up in the move, and this seems at this 4 number, one that very well could end up somewhere in between wherever it ends up. So I mean, I'd lay the MO. That's what I would do personally. But
okay. Yeah, I don't hate it. It's the Mounts. They win by defense. They don't have anybody on their team that scores. They win by defense and coaching. So they're going to give American Fits a really good 3-point shooting team. The Mount's very quick and athletic, so they're going to be able to guard the 3-point arc. And Americans got their 3-point shooting has to. Maybe they are really good. You know, it's college basketball. This happens every year where teams come out of left field to win their fucking conference. It happens every fucking year. Yeah. It could be them. But I look at that team. I look where those kids came from. They're balling, but I think it's unsustainable. It reminds me of Penn State early on in the season. Okay. So Vermont, Dartmouth, we're going to hold 1 minute talking to this only. Okay. And this is a rule for me, by the way. I'm tripping myself.
You got it.
I want to take Dartmouth. Look, Vermont, we know they've won their conference the last 7,000 years. Great basketball school. They have my guy Dylan Penn from Bellarmine who transferred there. I was so hyped to see him go there. I was ready to be making Vermont my wagon, not Charleston. But Vermont sucks, and Penn does not fit in that offense. I don't know what they were thinking bringing him in. It does not fit. And if you've watched any Vermont games, their commentators have said the same shit where everyone's waiting for Penn to get going and this Vermont team to get going, and it's just not a good fit. A bunch of good shooters. And then Penn, who's just a fucking driving maniac who hasn't really been able to find his guys. His assist numbers are down. Chemistry is extremely important in all of sports, not a hot take. And they don't have it, but they have that big name. And Dartmouth has no big name, and they're only getting 5 points. And I know these teams have similar records, but Dartmouth is only getting 5 points to big name Vermont. Go ahead and give me Dartmouth. Give me the Ivy to cover in an ugly game at home. Okay. I like Dartmouth here.
All right.
Vermont is just not a good team. Sorry, they're not. Will they get back on track? Maybe. They have a really good coach, but I just don't think it's a good fit with what they got right now. So I like Dartmouth.
I can go with
+5.
I can go with that.
All right. Scrolling. JMU, UVA. Eileen, UVA. I think they're going to absolutely lock up this JMU team who beat them last year. JMU beat UVA last year. You don't think UVA and Tony Bennett remembers that? You don't think they're going to be coming prepared? Give me UVA. Sharps are all over JMU though, so I get it if you're gonna pitch them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pitch them, but it's definitely one that's catching my eye because I honestly just think I do think this JMU team should have a little bigger of a line. Not gonna lie. But partially, I just think UVA is going to be a little out of their element. So this might be the game where the first half is to play. I think they're gonna speed them up a little bit, which I will say UVA is not the complete slow team that they've been in the past. They have the personnel to do that a little bit now, but I think they'll be maybe a little stunned to come out a little bit. So first half, maybe I'll play that, but I'm good on that.
Yeah.
The one that right above that is catching my eye a little bit is Abilene Christian.
On the road
to K-State.
Okay.
So this is an Abilene Christian team that we saw them in the tournament last year. I wouldn't say that I don't even know if it was last year. 2 years ago, they beat Texas. They're not really one of those teams where I guess that reputation is really carried to where everybody wants to bet on them.
Well, they haven't really been that good.
Yeah, I mean they're not. Yeah, they're just not good. And they were 12.5-point dogs at Texas A&M. Lost that game by 20 or 19, I believe. And now they're coming into K-State going 13.5 to 13 against a team who I think is really overrated / gets undervalued. But I feel like this is a little aggressive, especially again. This is a team who 2 weeks ago lost to UC Riverside by double digits on their home floor. So going 13.5 to 13 against a Kansas State team who is coming off of a little bounce back win, I guess you can call it, after that Butler game. They beat Wichita State, which gross game. They didn't cover, but it's a little bounce back spot. And now they're coming in and only getting 13 to Kansas State. I think that's a little weird. And if it's 12.5 moving down on FanDuel, great. Love it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It was kind of like a cancel out play for me with Kansas State coming off of that bad loss. They haven't covered 3 games in a row, and Abilene looking good in their last game against Northern Arizona, who's no slouch, by the way. My guy Jalen Cone, who transferred from BT, he can play. That team's actually kind of decent.
Up there too, yeah.
What'd you say?
That's one of the I believe that's one of the interesting prop sites, if I'm not mistaken. They have a couple of bumps in that game, but
interesting. All right, well, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
W. That's a W. It's a cancel out play for me, but I definitely lean Abilene with you, so I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But Kansas State losing that game outright last game scares me, but I also think they're frauds.
So well, they had one game in between.
Okay.
They didn't cover, but they beat Wichita State.
Okay. Good call. Our guy Dylan coming in with ideas. Absolutely love it. Dylan, we're working on some stuff. You're going to see some changes and some improvements before the new year. We're working on some stuff. Okay. So you guys know this show is my baby. We're going to improve and we're going to get better and it's going to look cleaner going into the new year. I'm excited. So actually had a call about it earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving. I do personally think that JMU is the fake sharp play of the day today. I want that on record. I'm also biased. Fucking hate both those teams. Hate that they're getting so much love. All right. Especially when BT's not even fucking ranked. Absolutely ridiculous. What are we supposed to do? Beat UNC by 100? How many times are we going to beat UNC at home? How many times we got to beat Duke at home until people think we're good at basketball? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 more. I don't know. We've already done it 10 times the last 3 years. Anyways, Bradley laying 5.5 to Suey. Any thoughts on that? Or if not, we can move on. I lean Bradley. I think they're a significantly better team who has a worse record than this team. And Bradley's on the road and they're laying 5.5 and they open up 5. I like the splits. I like Bradley. That's my little pitch on that.
I'm with you. I won't add anything because we're running short, but
sure,
I'll concur.
I love 3 unders back coming up here. I love the Tarleton Baylor under. I feel like that's just going to be a fucking defensive masterclass game. I don't think Tarleton's going to be able to score against Baylor. They can't score in general. And I think Tarleton will strap up a struggling Baylor team who hasn't impressed me much. Tarleton's going to take this game extremely seriously, and you're going to get serious heart from the team whose middle name is Hart. Tarleton. Like that under a lot. I like the UMKC Oklahoma under a lot as well. Those teams just scream defense. That's honestly a basketball brain play. Yeah. I personally don't see UMKC scoring more than 50 points in this game. I'm sorry. They might cover, but I think this is going to be a disgusting, gross, boring shit game, and it's going under. And I like the way it's moving. And then Green Bay, Loyola of Chicago, I like that under a lot as well. We saw Green Bay hit the overlap yesterday in IUPUI. Keyword yesterday, tired legs. That's Green Bay. They're not the fucking Lakers. Those kids suck. They're going to be tired. And Loyola of Chicago actually blows too. So big name, but they stink. I almost thought about fading them here, but I can't because Green Bay is coming off of an impressive cover and win, I guess, for them. Yeah. Give me the under in that game too. So 3 nasty unders there.
I like those. Those. And that UMKC pick almost feels to me very UT Arlington-ish.
Okay.
I think it's going to be such a gross game that they're going to hang around in that for a bit. And
100%.
I hate getting in that late of the number, but I might consider it.
I try not to fucking bet and talk about every single dog. Not even just for you guys, because I know you guys hate it, but just for me too. Like, I find myself getting wrapped in trying to take every, fun, trendy, decent, good mid-major team hanging 10, right? You can't just take every single one. You got to be smart, pick your spots.
Yeah. And somebody
that being said, I like it though.
Somebody said it too. You check out the total on the UT Arlington game. Which, I mean,
Nelly.
Certainly for a reason. But good Lord.
That's so low, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah. I mean, not to say that these teams can actually put the ball in the basket. Like, it's certainly low for a reason, but
yeah.
Good Lord, 114.
Give me that under.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost done. We have a couple bigger games here. Wisconsin flipping from +1.5 to -1.5 against undefeated Maryland.
Yeah.
Sure they can.
Yeah.
Sure they can. Give me the Badgers at home. And honestly, the fact that total's gone up tells me that we're going to be getting mystery points. I don't know where they're coming from. Why is this total going up in a game with Wisconsin involved? Oh, here's the answer. It's because they're coming from Wisconsin. They're going to score and win this game. All right. Yeah, those should hit. Those should work together, Rampage. No worries. Yep,
I will say though, out of the three Big Ten teams, like I would say that they're probably all not going to hit. Just kind of hoping for a 2-1 on there, but there are lines that we got to play. Just have to play.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But love Wisconsin. We don't have time to dive into it, but I mean, 6-2 team at home as a favorite against 13th ranked, undefeated, trendy as fuck Terps. That's enough for a bet right there as it is. Oh no, second half plays is on Maryland. Oh, that guy's the biggest fucking scammer I've ever met. And if you guys take that guy's plays, I don't feel bad for you. Respect.
I think he had a legacy day too yesterday. If not, I saw some.
Did he hit bets yesterday?
I mean, okay. the two that I saw prior to that, I'm pretty sure they hit. So,
all right, well, good for him. Actually, I was gonna say I don't root against other people, but he's a scammer and he lies about his shit, so I actually do root against him. So fuck that guy. Give me Wisconsin. Hell yeah. Are you taking Sam Houston against Oklahoma State? Yes or no?
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
that's honestly like I know it's moved down a point, but it feels a little large of a line. I'm good.
Okay. How about Montana flipping from +2.5 to -1.5? Does that tickle your fancy at all?
I mean, a little bit. Not crazy about it.
Trendy South Dakota State from the tournament last year. Probably a lean, probably not a play. Not with other good games on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Iowa Duke. Here's a real game. Woohoo! We made it. I guess I lean Iowa. I don't like the way the line's moved, but if you bet spots like Iowa +2.5 tonight every single time for the same amount of units, you're probably going to be in the fucking green. All right.
I think
I like Iowa.
Out of the Illinois,
this is the one I
Wisconsin,
like least.
Iowa. No, this is the one I like the most.
Oh,
one I like the most.
Oh,
yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah, this is the one I like the most.
Well, that's the one I'm least confident in, so that makes me happy. I'm definitely playing it now. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, this is the one I like the most. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You kidding me? Wait, was Iowa 4-2?
Were they? I know they were up to 3 at a point. I don't know if
Dejan, can you do some research as we finish up here? That would be awesome. Can you give that a peek, please? I saw it open up at 2. Maybe it went up to 4.
I saw 3. I saw 3 when I looked at it at some point. I don't know what it opened.
Okay. Even if it went from +2 to +3 and now it's +2.5, totally okay with that. As long as it got up to that at some point and now it's coming back down.
Yeah.
Right? Are you taking TCU? Yes or no today?
No, but it's also just like I don't feel compelled to get involved in that game.
Okay.
To be honest with you, didn't even really look at it.
Okay. One more game I wanted to bring up. The late night game. You take a peek at that?
Are you talking about Pepperdine?
I'm talking about Pepperdine.
Okay. Okay.
Give me the Pepperdine. -2 against Nevada. Don't care if Nevada's coming off a loss. This is Pepperdine versus Nevada, and Pepperdine's a favorite. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me Pepperdine. Don't overthink it. They win this game.
Yeah.
This is the don't overthink play of the night. Write that down. The don't overthink play of the night, Pepperdine. All right? Thumbs up?
Yeah, you're getting the thumbs up for that, for sure.
Right. Awesome.
For sure.
Divided by 2, Shore Lafferty, bet it then. You won't. All right. Well, we just absolutely ripped through CBB left and right. Before we get the squad ride going real quick, any plays I missed?
Don't think so. I think we got it all out in the air.
All right. So what are we putting for the squad ride, brother?
You know, I say it could be a smart idea to not throw the big games in there that we know are going to win. Just because of the big games.
Dude.
Maybe we roll with the plays that we like, that are just not the big couple games.
Okay. Well, start us off then, Coach. What do we got?
I mean, to be honest, like, favorite play on the ice is probably the Jackets over. Jackets over and or the Blues Isles over. And then if we had to throw in one of the big games, it would be Iowa for me. But I'm perfectly fine with leaving those 3 out.
Okay. And you don't want to put in Illinois or Wisconsin in here. You don't even want to think about mushing those.
Don't even want to think about it.
Okay,
don't want to
fair.
think about it because I know there's one for a fact that we are getting quite a few. One of those, I'm not going to say who, but one of those 2 are going to be pitched quite a few.
Okay.
Times in the next.
All right. Well, let's do Columbus over. Let's do what was that second hockey play you said you really liked too? Wasn't it another over?
Yeah, the Blues over.
Blues. Okay. St. Louis over.
Yeah.
We'll go Nuggets -5.
Okay.
You cool with that?
Yep.
Okay. We'll go what's another play I'm for sure going to play? You want to go Mount St. Mary's? The Mount?
I'm cool with the Mount.
What else?
I mean, I like Abilene. I don't know how you feel about Abilene. I said you felt
That's
about
Mount St. Mary's money line, by the way. We're laying the juice. We're not fearing it. We're embracing it. -165.
Get juicy.
All right.
Get juicy.
What was the play you wanted to put in there again? Oh, why don't we take that fucking Denver under?
Oh, yeah. You put the Denver under there.
Yeah.
Denver
and who was their opponent again?
The Mavs.
Mavs.
I actually really like that play.
Hey, that's good to hit.
Yeah, that is.
Good hit. We're only putting plays in here that are hitting. All right. 5 plays, 5 winners. We got the Blue Jackets over. We got St. Louis over. We've got Denver -5. We've got the Mount money line. And we've got Denver, Dallas under 222.5. Why the fuck did this total open up this low? And why is it moving down? Riddle me that. That's got my vote. That's got my vote. And that game's on TNT. So bonus, Uncle Phil bonus comment. Get to watch that game. It's on TV.
Yeah.
All right. We got the poll up because we got 2 minutes. We need to get these plays in. Need to get these votes in really fast. Go. Go. All right. Favorite play of the day. What do you got? What do you like?
Just in general or specific sport?
In general, you're one, you get one bet today, and if it hits, you get to bank 8 up to.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is. What is it?
What's that pressure? Give me 7 goals in Pittsburgh, or 8, I guess.
Yeah.
7 too, if it's still there.
Sure.
That would be it. And it's tough. It's kind of tough with all the not injury, but sickness stuff or whatever. But we'll see. I'm still
Trent. I promise you, I'm in no rush. Trent, I'm in no rush, brother. At all, bro. At all. Get your votes in. Go. Votes are down. This is bullshit. Come on. Just because we lose a couple squad rides doesn't mean we don't show heart or effort. All right? Come on. Do it for the crab. The Mount's winning this poll.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Do people want to bet on the Mount today? You guys are animals.
Hate laying the juice.
You guys are animals, bro. Holy fuck. My favorite 2 of the poll, and like I've already said a bazillion times, chat, vote for the fucking play that you think in your smart brain, because you're in our sharp chat here, that you think is going to win. The 2 most bet, or by far it's the Mount, by far it's probably going to win, and the Nuggets under, which is fire. So you guys are absolute issues, and you're sharps. I love it.
People. I love it.
You guys want to bet CBB? I know. All right. Tomorrow I'll make sure we put in a couple of CBB options for the squad. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mush any of the primetime games because I'm trying to fucking put some hammer nukes on them. Okay. The Mount. They're calling tonight. The Mount ML. We don't fear the juice. We embrace it. Okay. A little school up in Emmitsburg, Maryland. If you haven't heard of it, figure it out. Grow up. All right. Jovan, as always, a pleasure, my dudes. What a show. Power through everything. Chat, good luck on the bets tonight. Squad ride, we're smacking this one tonight. The mount is calling. All right. Good luck on your bets.